Truth Minister Paul Scott with the No Warning Shots Fired news. Tonight, we continue with our series, Black in the Hood, which is our answer to CNN's Black in America. You know, it's a question that always comes up when you start talking about the black community is about the drug trade. You know, why is little Tyrone selling drugs on the corner? Why are these young men selling crack in the black community? And, you know, that always comes up, but we really never get a good answer why this is because, you know, according to mainstream America, you know, they've been listening to that hip-hop music, and they've been watching Boys in the Hood and Menace to Society, and they just think it's cool to sell drugs, but it's a lot deeper than that. First of all, a lot of people make a profit off of the drug trade. The merchants in the community, they're making a lot of money off that illegal economy of the drug trade. Your various rim shops, your music places, a lot of people are making money off of that drug trade. So a lot of people aren't really willing to stop the drug trade because so much money is made off of that. You should also look at the prison industrial system. If the drug trade stopped, which is a major supplier to the prison industrial system, a lot of people who invest in the prisons would lose money as well. Secondly, the question arises, why don't black people stop drugs? Why isn't there, you know, we see all the murder in our communities, we see all the shooting in our communities and the death and destruction. Why don't people just call the police and report the drug dealers and stop the drug trade? The reason is because people in the black community aren't dumb, and they know that I know it's an old cliche that rappers always say, and it sounds like a weak excuse, but let's think about that. We don't have the planes, trains, and airplanes and trains and whatever ships to bring these drugs into the community. You don't have opium plants and opium fields and things of that nature growing in the black community, so it has to come from somewhere. You know, they used to say back in the 70s, if we can put a man on the moon, how come we can't stop drugs from coming in the country? And once again, it's because a lot of people make money off of the drugs coming in the community, and black people don't speak out against it. A lot of black people don't speak out against it because, they don't know who to run to, because they know it's a lot bigger than that little kid selling drugs on the corner. A good book to read is a book by Gary Webb called Dark Alliance, which he wrote probably about 10 years ago, where he talked about how in around the mid-'80s, early to mid-'80s, the CIA was actually involved in bringing drugs into South Central Los Angeles to fund a war. That book is called Dark Alliance by Gary Webb. And Gary Webb, after he put the story out, a lot of bad things happened to him. He was whitelisted by the media, and eventually he wound up supposedly committing suicide. So that's a very important book to read by Gary Webb called Dark Alliance that will give you the detailed account how drugs got into the community, because our young people need to know that. Our young people need to know how drugs got into the community, because if they knew the history, they would at least think twice before they started poisoning our community and contributing to the detriment of our community. Paul Scott, Truth Minister Paul Scott, No Warning Shots Fired news.